And we're live. Hey. Welcome to another episode of Sleazy Sports. And today I'm joined by the squad. Shava, Trishul, Onke, Sihle. Gentlemen, how are you?
I
I'm
can't even
always good.
smile.
Good
Nah, I
I'm
man.
can't
always
smile
good.
because I can't smile because like people are gonna say, "Oh, you've got a smile now."
It's a
Like
Blue
all of a sudden,
Monday.
come on.
All right, guys. Let's get into it. I've prepared myself psychologically as far as the grilling that's about to take place. But yeah, this is the first topic at hand, guys.
Accept cheese, bro.
Oh,
Accept
cheese.
cheese. Yeah,
Oh,
he's crying in
sorry,
the
cheese.
group.
Ah,
Cheese. Apologies,
and
man.
he's sitting in the dark.
Four time
Apologies.
Hello,
manager.
Hi,
the
cheese.
light is here. You can't. I'm like sitting there. I'm like, what is X? Maybe X wants to do a grand introduction to introduce me as a first time
No.
champion.
At the drum roll,
Yes,
please. The champion
yeah,
is
the
here.
guy. I'm like, yeah, these
The
guys.
champ
I'm like,
is here.
anyway, all these people. By the way, viewers, these guys in the back speaking about their hairlines. So they're taking a look at this.
You heard us,
so
man.
so I quickly went and fetched my hat so that I stay under the convo. This convo.
Yeah. But anyway, let's hop right into it, gents. Like I know the grilling is about to begin. Trisho, over to you, mate. Why do we suck, bro? Why does Man United suck? And from your standpoint.
Look, guys, it wasn't as bad as it looked, even though it did look pretty bad. Um, and I'll tell you why, right? If we scored that goal where Xerxes didn't touch it on the line, it's 2-1. It's Brighton pushing on the attack. There will be space. And then of course, look, the defending for their goal was just shambolic. There's no forgiving whatever Delict was trying to do there. I think him and McTominay were marking the same player. But I watched it back a few times, and where it actually went wrong was Casemiro was in that position, and then when the ball was partially cleared out, or I don't know if it was Brighton that knocked it out of the box, he went out of the box and was waiting for the counter attack, and he didn't come back into our box. And that's when the final pass came in, and that's when the cross went in. So look, it's if the Garnacho goal counts, it's 2-1. If we win, no, but we're not having this conversation. It's two from Ten Hag. People are, it's Brighton away. It's a good win, but it's slim margins. I'm not looking at as it as panic mode, panic stations, and we need to throw everything out. Our players are still injured. We've got our players out of position. Mount is
I
still
was
playing.
I was
Thankfully,
waiting
he's
for that.
injured now. So I don't know what the hell is going to happen to us this weekend, but we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah,
Uh,
of course.
I
but
I
I'll be in
I,
Maritzburg.
I
I'll be in
I just
Maritzburg.
want
You'll
to
see me
say,
there
right,
with the same
when we
background.
took off Mount, we looked like a much better team because Mount is a passenger when we're playing him. It looked like we were playing a 4-4-2 with Mount and Bruno as our strikers. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, what are you trying to do here? Because if Bruno is dropping to try to create, he's creating for Mount. Now, no, that's not going to work. Also, I don't blame Ahmad for having a bad game. The guy's mom passed away. I'm not going to sit here and crash on him on any point. I am going to crash on Rashford though. There was many times where he got the ball, he took his man on, and then he checked back inside instead of running into space. So when that happens, like what are we supposed to expect from him? What do we and also with Bruno, like you can't play him as a striker because he's our best creator. If he's not creating chances, nobody in that team is creating chances. So
I agree.
we had way too many issues there. I hope
isn't
someone is
this
in the
more of the
front
same?
Yeah.
It was
That's more of the thing.
Look, I'm not going to be too hard on us. We have many injuries. Everyone is out of position, and it's just a waiting game on Igate now. I was hoping it'd be done by last
Yeah.
week, but now McTominay is going, so it does look like he'll be done for this week. But I don't know if he'll start against Liverpool.
Sihle,
Who?
I know
McTominay
you.
is
I
gone.
want you. Yeah, I wanted to ask you this question, Sihle. Do you think Ugarte makes Man United a better team? The signing of Ugarte. You can
Okay.
first.
Okay. Let's speak on what you have. Let's not speak
Mhm.
on something that you might have or you might, because that
Yeah,
deal might collapse and you'll never know.
yeah.
I think
Okay.
they weren't terrible, and I take that with the pinch of Man United weren't as bad as everyone makes them out to be, but a bad Man United is like here, and an average Man United is here, and Brighton is here. So I think everyone, you need to temper your expectations as a Man United fan. There's a difference between where Brighton are with a new manager and their style of play and
And a
Man
29-year-old
United.
manager, by the way, he's 29 years old. Yeah.
Nah, they forget his age and whatnot. He's a better manager than Ten Hag. But the one thing that, fortunately, I watched the game with Man United fans, and they're all singing the same. It's repetitive, and it's like, no, we're not that bad and whatnot. If we're being honest, guys, against Fulham, you guys nicked it right at the end. And that's the truth that no one wants to admit, that you are playing against a new team in Fulham where they've like quite a few new players, and you guys like got it 87th, if not 88th minute. Okay. This past weekend, I still struggle with your identity. I can't find it. I look for it. Is Mount playing 10?
No, it's
Is
all the same,
Bruno?
bro.
Yeah, is Bruno
Shit.
playing? Is Bruno playing that 9? But you have spent quite a bit of money to buy 2 number 9s. I don't. Maybe
My brother,
my
United can buy every player in the world, my brother. You can buy every player in the world. You can buy them. You can buy Ugarte, guys. You can buy
I
him,
think
and it's not going to change. It's not going to change how you guys are playing on the pitch. I mean, we're no longer speaking about who's this young kid. We're no longer speaking about Mainu now, and we know it was Mainu who's going to solve the problem with Casemiro, and it's going to work. But now we have to get someone else in to fix the problem. But still we have your Maguire who doesn't he doesn't know what he's doing.
Doesn't play football.
Guys, he doesn't know what he's doing, guys.
so. The first goal, like if we're being honest, it literally sits with Maguire. Like no one
All of
can
it.
argue that.
The whole
Yeah.
goal. All of it.
Like, and the thing is, he knows that he's wrong, but he does this English thing of being defensive. Meanwhile, he knows that he couldn't defend. And he's pointing at the player to say, well, the player came from nowhere. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, but you
Just cut the
gave
ball out.
the
How?
Intercept.
Thank you.
Intercept the ball. Intercept.
Just
And the thing is, he does a silly movement where before the ball actually was played in, and no center back should be doing this. He moves away from his goal line.
Yep.
No center back should be doing that when the ball is going to coming across you. You move away, and then he moves away, and it was that movement that stopped him from reaching out when it went past him. That is,
Yeah, and you ask yourself, do these players go through like video footage from the previous weekend where the manager like breaks it down that this is how we conceded? Because it's not the first time that he's done this. And first time he does it, okay, sure, fine, it's a mistake. Second time that he does it, that's just the way that he plays football. The third time he does it, it's gonna cost you.
I said last week. United's first game of the season, they won that game on the heroics of Casemiro and Harry
Yes.
Maguire. You are not going to win much if that's who you rely on to be heroic in order to win games.
Mhm.
Because what are those two players gonna? It's like having a game where Onana needs to save you. That's not sustainable. Onana's not gonna do that next time. Like there are players that you know that if and I hate to make this example, but hey, if Cole Palmer has to save me this week, I know Cole Palmer can save me 4 other times before the season is over because it's Cole Palmer. But if I need Harry Maguire to save me from a loss this week, I know that next week I'm going to lose if I'm in the same exact position where Harry Maguire can influence the game for me because he's never going to make the right decision every single time. And that's the problem. Secondly, when the season ended and you guys were all wearing spectacles, you remember, Shiva, when they were all wearing spectacles saying they had a better season than Arsenal. I said the biggest threat with Man City losing that game is that you guys are now stuck in perpetual mediocrity through that coach.
Jeez,
And
at
that
7 o'clock,
mediocrity-
perpetual mediocrity.
Eish.
Yeah. And
I-
and now
Ma-
and now you are
Hashtag
seeing a
it.
continuation.
Hashtag it.
You are seeing a continuation of that exact mediocrity. How do you start a game without a striker? When your team, when your
Okay,
club
this
has
is actually
spent
what I wanted
a
to ask you,
fortune
right?
on 2 strikers, you start the game with no striker whatsoever. And you're not even playing a goal threat in front. You're playing 2 midfielders as your 9.
Okay, I wanted to ask you this, right? Because you're the tactics guy. Brighton, from minute 2, were playing a high line that was almost in our half.
2 strikers.
When you see that as a manager, you think, okay, you want to play a high line, I'll put a fast striker there and I'll put one of the best creators in the league to play through balls. When did Ten Hag do that? He did it at halftime when he took off Mount and he brought on Xerxes to play on the left wing and he played Rashford at striker.
So,
Now,
You know, the one thing
what is that supposed to do?
the one thing I
Exactly. So
love
leave-
with Brighton, the one thing I love with Brighton is both their strikers scored.
Yeah.
leave out the fact that he didn't play a striker. Fine, you're not playing a striker. You now realize your opponent is playing a very high line. So when you get the ball, which is something you were doing against Fulham very well, even in the not Carabao Cup, the Shield against City, whenever you recovered the ball, you try to play onto their high line. So you're trying to beat the high line. You've got 2 very, very fast wingers. You play them narrow, and then you try to play balls over the defense because Rashford has the speed, Ahmad has the speed. So you don't need Mount and Bruno to be advanced. You can keep them and overload the midfield and then play these guys as your 2. No, he doesn't do that. He keeps them wide, meaning that they have to beat someone in order to get to goal. But you can give them a clear run to goal, just playing the offside trap, just trying to beat the offside trap. Didn't do that. United struggled to create against the high line, something United loves playing against. Bruno couldn't find a pass. There was a period where like he made 3 consecutive passes that went out of play, trying to look for Rashford. And I'm
Trying
like,
to look for
why,
Rashford because Rashford stayed wide.
why is he wide?
Why is
Why
Rashford
he
hugging
wide
the
since
touchline?
beginning? Yes. Why is he not central? You don't have any threat centrally. How are you going to score a goal? And that's the first problem. You have the same dunderhead running your team. The same idiot running your team. It's
So
not
guys,
gonna change.
I watched very little of that United game, and just from speaking to some of the United fans today, what the guy said was it wasn't the players' fault. Like yesterday's defeat or Saturday's defeat was on the coach,
Yeah.
right? And I saw a picture somewhere of the goal, and I'm like, why is I think it's Dallo and Mazraoui. Why are they both on the right?
On the same side.
And there's
On
no
the
one on
same
the
side.
left. How does that happen?
Substitutions.
Right.
McTominay were marking the
Substitutions.
same player.
Then
Dallo
my
goes
next
like
question
this.
is, right,
Dallo goes like
we
this.
know that Bruno
This
Fernandes
guy.
is not we know that Bruno Fernandes is not good at ball retention, right?
Mhm.
And you know that Bruno Fernandes is very good at latching onto a ball and making something happen, right?
Mhm.
So why play him as a false nine where he has to play with his back to goal? If the false nine worked for us, where it was Bobby Firmino who could play with his back to goal, not looking at the ball, doing handstands, all of that stuff, and he had Salah and Mane doing this, right? You guys, I don't know what Rashford was doing. I have no idea, but Ahmad, he looks like a good player, but he's not the winger who's going to do what Salah does and come in. I think he's more of a ball carrier. Like he's more of the guy who, get the ball, beat a man, put in a cross, lay it off for someone. He's not gonna
There's a
cut in, or
chance-
maybe he will cut inside, but he's not gonna get in the box and score. If you play
There's
with
a
the false
chance that
nine, you need someone getting into the box. It's called a false nine. It's not called a no nine. You need someone else to come in and get into the box. And
There's a chance that Ahmad
just
had.
to sum up,
That's my problem. You have a 10 that you're
Portuguese
playing
bowler
at
at
9,
nine.
and then you're playing a striker who's a striker on the left to accommodate Rashford, who isn't even making runs in behind. And then when Rashford has the space, he's checking the ball. Rashford, who we know has the pace, is through. There's yards of space ahead of him, and he's checking the ball and then playing it back. Look, I don't understand what Rashford's problem is, but he shouldn't be our problem anymore. The guy had a good season, yes,
but
he's going to do this for a second season running.
I think the one thing that Man United players have, which is it's a weird trait to have, none of them are consistent. Okay.
No,
I
they
could
are
count-
consistent. They're
They are
consistently
consistent
shit.
Yeah.
They're consistently shit.
You walked.
Guys,
That's consistency.
Dado is one exception.
it sits
He's
with
one
Ten Hag,
player-
right?
Yeah.
I think it sits with Ten Hag. I don't think it sits with the players because this guy does not learn from his mistakes.
Yeah.
He does not, and he does not change his mind in a game. He against Fulham. Yes, there were a lot of good things to take away from that game, but now he went and did the same thing again against Brighton, who's a much better team than Fulham.
Yeah.
The other
I think
question,
also,
Shivar,
I think
is
Shivar,
why is
the
he
other
not
thing
changing?
that if no,
He's-
he can't.
I think
You're
I
right.
think it's because he's too
a
arrogant.
thunderhead. He is.
Yeah. And you
And
did
it's
say
just
it
Simple
that-
before.
ball knowledge. They're playing a high line. You put someone to
FA
play
Cup.
balls. You get your wingers to cut inside. That's
It's the
simple
FA Cup
ball
win.
knowledge.
it is the FA
Imagine
Cup.
that small ball he had of his, and he thought that he has a serious coach now. Now he's doing weird things. Now he's worse now,
I
guys.
said this, if you remember when they won the FA Cup, I said
Mhm.
United fans are saying that the reason United are not replacing him is because there's no one available on the market that's good. And I said to United fans, Chelsea is taking a risk on Maresca.
Mhm.
Liverpool is taking a risk on Slot.
Onslaught.
You
Mhm.
have to take a risk if you
Yeah.
want to improve. Every
But
team
okay,
is
okay.
not going to
Our
get
next
everybody
manager is
on.
What's the
sitting next
problem
to
last
Ten Hag
season?
on the bench. Our next manager is sitting next to Ten Hag.
Yeah.
The manager,
we've spoken about
manager
that.
you guys want,
Mm.
the manager you guys want was waiting for you guys in
Yeah.
McKenna. McKenna was waiting for you guys. You guys decided you were gonna stay. Then you went to Tuchel. Tuchel said, "Nah, I'm not doing that shit." And then you guys decided, let's go back to Ten Hag because you were not sure if you were gonna get anyone better in the market because you don't know how to look for a manager. Number one, number two, which is even more worrying. But number two, it's almost as if you convinced yourself that winning the FA Cup is the change that is going to galvanize United from finishing 8th to becoming a top 4 team somehow. Even when we were doing predictions, a lot of people were like, Man United in the top 4. And I'm like, I'm not sure people remember how United finished last season.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of the Chelsea thing with us being in
Yeah.
the Conference League.
The unknown.
There's that thinking that Chelsea finished below United, when it's actually the other way around. United only got into the Europa because of the FA Cup, but United finished out of Europe last season. They didn't even qualify for the Conference League. That's the team
Forgot.
you guys are bringing into the season. And Ten Hag is saying, I've got all these new signings. I'm not going to use them. I'm going to keep them on the bench. I'm going to play the
You see.
exact players that finished 8th. And imagine that something is going to change. Just imagine it. I've got
Man.
Delicht chilling on the bench, but I'm going to play
Yeah.
Harry. Because,
You see,
me and Harry patched things out. So me and Harry
Let's talk
are
about-
good now.
yeah, okay, let's talk about Sancho, bro. I really don't like how Sancho is treated, man. You look at your coach, Maresca. Maresca said that he doesn't rate Sterling. He didn't say Sterling. He was like, I don't. He's not in my plans. Same thing with Slot and Endo. Endo is not in Slot's plans, and he made it clear to the player.
To the player. To the player. Not
Yeah,
to the
but-
media.
Yeah, exactly. My thing is that one thing I don't like about Ten Hag is that it's gaslighting, bro, where you pretty much say that you've patched things up, and then you're gonna say that Sancho needs to fight for his position, knowing very well Rashford has been shit for I don't know how many months now. It's more than
Who are
12
you
months.
fighting with? Am I fighting
So
with
who is he
Rashford
fighting
or
with?
with the coach?
You see what you see what I'm saying, bro? It just shows you that this guy just doesn't want Sancho to play for the team.
So
And
on that,
leave
it's
Sancho.
a weird one. I've been watching the media when it comes to Enzo and the way that he is addressing this bloated squad that he has, because he has to address it. Unfortunately, it's the elephant in the room. He has to address it. One of the interviews, he went and he said, I've split the group up into two. I'm only first team. It's 24, 25 players. The other players, we'll have to figure something out for them. And there's this huge uproar because I think what's his name, Sterling fell into the latter part. So the media is going the disrespect, and also Conor Gallagher. They're saying Conor Gallagher deserves better and whatnot. I'm thinking to myself, you know what? The English media will gaslight you into believing their narrative that, hey, you know what? This is an English player. He deserves better and whatnot. But if you're being honest, these players are being shit. And
Sterling
shit
doesn't
players,
deserve anything from us.
yeah,
Yeah,
hold on.
fair enough.
And these shit players to get managers fired, and then they continue earning their high wages. Right now, what Ten Hag is doing, and I freaking hate the management style that he has, where he says one thing, meanwhile it's another thing. So he says it in front of the media so that everyone is for him. That, oh, you know what, he wants the player to go right ahead and fight for it. Meanwhile, he knows very well that what's his name, Sancho, that whole gripe or that whole lovers tiff that they had
Never
is
gonna
not
end.
sorted. It's not.
It's not. And that's the truth, Sitlein. It really isn't. And I don't know why he can't just say that, bro, you're not in my plans. And what's dope about Sancho is that at least a team like Juve, Juve is a big team. It's in the Champions League. With him going to Juve, it strengthens Juve. And I think automatically they become title favorites for the Scudetto because Timothy Weah is not better than Sancho, So I don't get why Ten Hag isn't honest. Why can't he
I
just?
think everyone here is in agreement with Sancho. Sancho deserves better.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not in agreement with that.
My thing is that but the thing is that though, but Trishel though, you don't treat him the way you treat him. Rather be like Maresca and say, leave. Make it clear.
I'll explain why I'm not on Sancho's side, right? Because when he didn't make the England squad for the World Cup, which he didn't deserve to be in, let's be honest, Ten Hag is the one that said, okay, you know what? You go off, you rest, you recover, you do your training away from the squad, sort your mental health out, and come back. When Sancho came back, Ten Hag was the one that sent him onto the pitch, happy, smiling, shaking hands, and whatever. Sancho had a couple of good games. After that, I don't know what happened. But the thing with Sancho and Ten Hag only said he didn't train well. If Jurgen Klopp said, I benched, who can I say? Or I benched Cody Gakpo, he didn't train well, people would applaud him. People say, yes, that's Klopp taking a stand. But with Ten Hag, and also another thing is,
I'll tell you what the difference is. I'll tell you
Yeah.
what the difference is. Let me stop you right there. I'll tell you
Yeah.
what the difference is. Because I thought about this myself. Because I'm like, Arteta says all of these cheesy things, and everyone is like, "Oh, Arteta's so cheesy." Klopp says it, and everybody's like, "This guy's a genius." The difference is Klopp is genuine. If Klopp says he didn't train well, it means he didn't train well. End
Yeah.
And I
of
highly
story.
doubt,
Nothing more
Klopp
to
is
it.
going to say that to the media first before he says it
First,
to the player.
yes,
Because what
he would
happened
have
was
already discussed
Sancho
it with the
said-
player first.
Yeah, Sancho said that he only found out when he read the newspapers.
Yes.
That's some bullshit
He said
move,
that
being honest.
narrative came, and that was Sancho's problem, is that this was never brought to him. Now he's been presented as a certain type of person when
Yeah.
that information never came to him. Enzo spoke to Sterling days before the game, told him, "My nigga, you are not gonna get playing time here. Like I'm not. I'm not.
Okay, I don't think
we
Enzo
just
said
signed
that
Pedro
word
Neto.
for word now.
We just signed Pedro Neto. We just signed Pedro Neto. We are going to get another winger as well. So
Yeah.
we're not going to be dealing with you and your minutes demands for this season.
Yeah.
So you can start making plans." So
Yep.
on Sunday, when Sterling releases the statement before the game, he is
And
well
his team.
aware of
Mm.
the
Yeah.
situation. And I think his team started the media uproar. They basically started to press members of the media to say, what's happening to Sterling at Chelsea is unfair. Chelsea is horribly run, whatever. And the media started to run with it because, hey, Sterling is English when they feel like it. So he's English. When Sterling was being disrespectful to Man City and Liverpool when he wanted to leave,
He's
when Sterling
Jamaican.
He was Jamaican.
training,
Yeah.
when he stopped training at Liverpool and wanted to leave, he was Jamaican then, and Sterling was a enemy number one. Then he moved. He got his City move. When he was done and fed up at City because Pep couldn't give him minutes, he was never portrayed as a victim. He got a deal to Chelsea. He shed the bed for 2 years at Chelsea. Never was able to showcase any level of consistency, any level that shows that this guy is one of the senior members of this young team
Yes.
at all.
What
He
Sam
was
is saying
surpassed.
is the truth. He
Yeah,
was
but
shit.
my thing is
Sancho was
that
shit.
my thing is that don't act like Sancho is the worst player in our squad, bro.
True.
Sancho
Yeah.
is
He isn't.
way
He
better than
isn't.
a lot
No,
of players,
no,
bro.
X, he
Yeah.
isn't. He's on 350 grand a week.
Who's the worst
Easy.
player in your squad?
Is he on
I feel like-
300? I'm not
Rashford.
even sure.
There's
Yeah.
Rashford.
worse players.
It's Rashford.
Harry Maguire.
Harry,
Harry
there's a
Maguire.
lot.
Okay,
Luke
are we
Shaw,
talking the
Alright,
entire
Gents,
squad?
gents. But why do we feel sorry for Sancho, dog? This guy was giving a message.
tell you
He
why
even
we
left
feel
the
sorry
club.
for Sancho.
He left the
Wait,
club.
I'll tell you
He left
why.
the club.
Can I just say?
And
Can
he's
I
like,
just say?
he comes
Jeez.
back and he hopes that things are gonna be different. Why, bruh? This guy did all of
Yeah.
these things we just spoke about 5 minutes ago, and you come back and you're like, oh, this guy is gonna
He
patch
had
things up and
training
everything's gonna be
problems
fine.
at City as well.
How
Before
stupid
he
are you?
left with Dortmund, he had training problems at City. It isn't
How-
a new
how-
thing.
He did
That's
have
bro.
training problems at Dortmund.
He did have many
Yeah,
training
but
That's
problems.
actually
training
why
problems-
City let
guys,
him go.
But guys, training problems and being dope on being dope. Like, didn't Hazard have training problems as well, Onke?
No. There's a
Hazard
difference.
is number 10.
Hazard
Hazard
didn't
Hazard.
put in
And when I
100%
saw
in
last
training,
season in the
but he
Champions
didn't cause
League,
issues in
I didn't see
training.
a guy who had training problems. Really, he didn't look like a guy who's terrible for me.
But guys,
personally. Yeah.
I'm sorry. There are certain players who are allowed to have training problems.
Yeah, I
Eden
know.
Hazard, Lionel Messi are not known to be great in training.
Yeah.
But those guys,
Onana.
Could
This is
never
my
be
cousin, guys.
questioned.
Give
Nah,
a
this
shout
is-
out.
No,
Yeah,
no, man. It can't
I
be. It
disagree.
can't be.
I disagree.
It can't be.
I
It can't
think
be Onana.
That's unjust. It's unjust.
Mm.
Onana gets flack because Onana is Onana, but he's not the worst player for Man United. Man United
Well,
has
your leading
some
goal scorer.
horrible players.
Exactly.
Man
Who keeps
United's
starting?
leading goal scorer has left, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's
Scott.
fine, dog. It's
Mc-
not like
yeah,
you
Scott
rate
McTominay.
Scott. Come on, let's be
Guys,
honest.
come on
Don't-
now.
don't-
If you're
don't
leading goal
insult my
scorer,
feelings.
let's
Don't
The
insult my
savior.
feelings.
I'm not going
savior.
there. I am not in any way defending Scott McTominay. Come on.
Yeah.
he's a
Maxos is your
One of
leading
your
goal
own.
scorer, my
You're
guy.
not defending one of
One
your
of your
own.
own. What do you
I'm
mean?
Sihle.
No.
Jeez,
So
stop it.
you guys switch fast now because it's Kobe my new Scott McTominay. When Scott was scoring
Next
last
door.
minute goals,
Yeah.
when
No,
Scott
no,
was
no, no,
scoring
no, no. Jeez,
and,
Guys,
and sliding
you
and
got
sliding
me.
to the
You
corner
be
flag.
from Angola. You be from Angola
Hey,
for all I care. If you come for United and
hey,
play for United and do
Yeah.
well,
hey.
we want you to
Oh,
play. Look at Rashford. Rashford is supposed to be our Manchester born and bred. The guy saw the paycheck and it's playing like dog.
Scott
Guys,
was doing the
I've had
DDA draw, Baba, to the corner flag, Baba. And now you guys
I've
are
had to sit
changing and
here.
doing this.
They're
I
switching
got
on
to
him
sit
now.
here
Now
and
you don't
listen
know
to
him.
Sisley big up Mason Mount, right? That's how you treat your own player. You guys have all heard me speak about Curtis Jones, right?
Mm.
That's how you're supposed to treat your player,
Right.
not what you guys are doing to Scott, who has done
No,
nothing wrong,
but-
by the way.
But Trishu, I feel as though there are sales that have to show the club's ambition.
Exactly.
Scott was tainting the ambition of the club. You can't employ a Scott McTominay and want to be taken seriously as a football team.
Exactly.
Unless Scott McTominay is purely a squad player, and by squad player I mean end of the bench. He comes on when you're winning the game just to be
Yeah.
a menace, a pest for no reason.
Yeah.
But if Scott is the player you are bringing on because you are down 1-0,
Yeah, well, oh, it's
That's not his fault.
And also,
It's not
it's
his
even a
fault.
thing of defending your
Hold on,
own.
guys.
Because I remember the entirety of last season, Sichle would go
Yeah.
after Conor Gallagher like Arsenal fans went after Adebayor. That's how bad it was. I'm not sticking with this whole defend your own
It wasn't.
thing
It wasn't the previous
Chelsea
season. It was
fans
the previous
wanted
season.
Conor Gallagher out of the club, and they kept people like Enzo Fernandez. So I'm not having that thing with the Scott. I'm not
Yeah,
having that thing with
Don't get
Scott
special
McTominay.
Speaking
expression.
of Mexos, hold on, guys.
By the
Speaking
way,
of Mexos
yeah.
coming on, can we also address the other huge elephant in the room? What's his name? Eric struggles with his substitutions,
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
that's not
and
new.
it's something that everyone is starting to see that his substitutions are weird as fuck. Like,
don't make
you,
sense, bro.
when
is
they
Not
make
off
no
Bruno for
sense.
McTominay. I was at a loss for
So-
words.
So you know what Ten Hag does, gents? He prepares his subs at home. He's like,
Thank
okay,
Before the game,
I agree.
yeah.
like 75. He hasn't even seen the game, bro. He hasn't seen the game, but he
Yeah.
knows with 76 minutes Scott. 76 minutes Scott McTominay had to
It
go
was
on.
a premeditated
And,
substitution that made absolutely no sense. Bruno is your guy. Bruno is your man. Like it's not like when they pulled Bruno, they were leading 3-0 or 6-0 or 6-2 or something
Ooh.
like that.
Exactly.
why is Garnacho starting on the bench?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
When he's
Garnacho
the one-
will be
when he's
making
your best
those runs
player.
that Rashford doesn't make.
Who actually
mean,
is a player
you
who would
can-
get into the box.
Yep.
With him and
He's the
Kobe,
one.
these two, Kobe and him, are your best players at United, and then you can put Bruno in there.
He's the
third,
one.
but
He's
Kobe
the
should
one.
not be
Garnacho
playing
has
the
to be
amount
playing,
of
bro.
football he's currently playing. Menu should not be starting the amount of games he's currently playing because Casemiro is a passenger and you're making a 19-year-old cover 3 positions because Mount is retarded and Casemiro is washed.
But I don't think
But-
Mount had a terrible game. I honestly
Mount-
don't think that he
See,
had
Mount
that
was
see,
good.
subbed off at halftime because he got injured, bro.
Mason
I can't
Mount-
defend that
Mason
either.
Mount has gone to United and Sichle is still defending him.
Thank you. That's what you do. Keep
One
him
of your own,
there.
you do that,
65
bro.
million.
You do that one of your own. I mean, United could have come in for Phillips if you guys really need a center mid. Guys, it's defensive.
No.
Like,
Nah, the
We
pie
could have
is him and
guys.
him and Luke Shaw.
We'll pay his wages, bro. He's English.
Him and Shaw.
Goes in
They
there.
will finish all
So
the
you want to
Manchester
send him
pies.
by us for like work experience or something?
But guys, let's also be honest. I feel as though United looks over a lot of the players that they actually need with the quality that they actually need
Yeah.
for their
Yeah.
team. And it's become a culture. United they tend to think that they are too good for the players that are better than the players they have.
Thank
When
you.
before we signed Felix, I was having a conversation with a United fan, and they were like, why would you buy this guy? This guy has been passed around like a
No,
cheap
which United fan was this?
It was
Please
me.
call him
Nah,
out.
But
so-
I question why
He comes out. He comes out.
and in my head, I'm thinking to myself, but Felix starts for the team
Yeah.
easily.
Easy, though.
And
Hey.
it's a player your team should actually want to have, not be snickering and laughing at another team competing with you for having. And then when he came on yesterday, I saw United fans like, it's actually unfair that Chelsea can bring on Kunku and Felix.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what? It can't be you guys. You now realize when you see a Chelsea or a Liverpool bringing on a Gakpo from the bench that, depth actually matters. City
Yep.
bring on Foden from the bench. You're like, depth actually has something. Arsenal bring on Trossard from the bench. This is actually what big teams should be doing. Instead, Man United has been like, where's Rashford
Scott.
gonna play if he brings on Felix? Really?
Yeah. Facts.
Okay, guys, we all know why United sucks. I think can
Yeah,
we
we
move
all
on to
know.
the next one?
Let's move on to the next one. Yeah.
It was fun. It's always fun.
36 minutes. I knew it was going to take time. So let's move over to this one. This one will take 2 seconds. See, Cheese.
Cheese,
About
what do
your
you have to
team.
say for yourself?
What do you have to say about yourself? Thank you to Haaland. Haaland.
Gents, you saw that guy, bro. He's just like he's himself.
Yeah,
Like he looks well rested. No, it looks well rested. I mean, it's we had a very long season, the previous one. So he looks well rested. I mean, if he doesn't pick up injuries, I think he smashes another record this year. We look like we'll score goals with our wingers. They're so interesting. They're so creative. They're so sharp. Savinho has come into the team and he just looks at home. I was telling Onke Riyad Mahrez definitely.
And why do you think
it's
that
there.
is, Cheese? Is it because he is at home? Is it because he's always been at home? Why do you think that is?
No.
Anyway,
I think
Speak about what's happening on the pitch.
No. To be fair, I mean the role at Girona was what he's doing now at City. So he didn't really have to change what he was doing there to fit into our team. It just creates a bigger complication for Jack Grealish because now we have these guys who actually want to beat players instead of trying to check back in, and we create more space because now we're pushing guys up and we create that big space in the middle for Kevin to get that ball. I mean, that pass for the second goal to Haaland was because of that space that those guys created pushing up front. And again, I think we need to fix ourselves defensively. I'm not sure with Ederson anymore. He doesn't make many saves, so we get one chance against us, and it's always a goal against City. I mean, we face 2 or 3 shots a game, and we'll concede 2 goals with Ederson. So he's starting to become a bit suspect, and I could think it was one of the things that created that murmur of him going to Saudi, and Ortega possibly taking the first team jersey. But he's always Ederson. His passing ability and other attributes add to our team. But yeah, overall, I think it's too soon. We've had 2 games, one against Chelsea, probably the most challenging for them. We probably played the same way, but because they have new players and a new coach, they had to find a way to beat us. And last season, 2 games we didn't beat you guys last season with Poch. And Vele Poch is not some guy that we beat. Even at Spurs, we struggled to beat him. So a good result we'll see in the next few games. I think I need a bigger game.
This is my other cousin.
Like a Liverpool.
Give another shout out.
Yeah.
What up? What up? Anit.
I think on City.
Soon there's gonna be a family show, X. We'll be sitting there, and there's gonna be like, this guy's whole family, bro, and we're like on the show.
So I think City. I was flipping through channels and I watched City. I know, guys. City is effective, guys. They effective. They're efficient. They all of those things that you can put in a team that is well run, that is well structured, that any player that comes in knows their role. You look at their bench. You look at now the what's his name? Ukundwan
How
has
good
come
is-
back.
How good is
I
Rico
know,
Lewis,
man.
though?
I'm like
Like
no.
Rico Lewis, yes.
I don't think
Yo.
Rico Lewis had a brilliant game this past weekend. The goal
But
was his fault. There's a chance that he had to score, and he decided to rattle the crossbar. He's
I think he
brilliant.
had
He's
an
good.
amazing game. I
Um,
think he had
but
an
he needs
amazing
to.
game.
That guy is so good.
I'm sorry. You know what
He's so
you know
good,
what I was
Jimbo.
thinking during the game? I was thinking we say a lot about Kobe Mino. We don't talk about this kid too much. Rico
Yeah.
Lewis is better than Kobe Mino. He's way better than
Rico
him.
is good.
Like as a
Rico
footballer,
is good.
way better than him.
Rico is good,
Like,
gents.
Rico
Rico
Lewis
is good.
wasn't making any bad decisions with the ball. Every time he had it. Yes, he missed chances, not even one. He missed a few chances in the box. He missed a few passes in the box. But like whenever he had it, you never, and he was always around traffic. You never felt like he couldn't make the right decision at that time. Guys, you train a player for a very long time to get them to have those instincts of calm, even in a chaotic environment. The boy was in the box making short passes, like he's just chilling alone with another
A
teammate.
right back.
He's too good.
A right back. And it's a right
He's
back
too
that time,
good.
fun. And, you know,
He is
the
too
problem is
good.
England have an abundance of right backs, but he's
That's
just so different to what everyone has
He's not a right back.
in how he plays the game. He's not
in my head,
definitely.
he's not a right back. He's a midfielder
Mm,
that
yeah.
plays
But
right
he needs
back.
the
He's just
minutes.
his size.
He needs the minutes, so he has to play in that position.
Yeah, but
No,
another-
I think it's perfect for him because of that energy that he has. That guy, he's in the box in 2 minutes. He's making a tackle at right back. He's covering the ball.
He
He's
is so good.
he's intercepting. He's in the middle, assisting people in 2-on-1s. Dude, I mean, we spoke about the first game about Nkuku. We expect a lot from Kuku. It's like Kuku, yeah, this is your game. It's a teenage right back. It's you. You need to show yourself, and this is your chance. And the kid came out. He was the one in the box creating passes. Rico Lewis at some
Bruh.
stage in the game, dude.
It was too easy
So-
for him. And the thing is,
he's really
because
good.
he's
But
coming from
if we're
right
being
back,
honest, you guys have the cheat code up front, that machine, that robot, that I don't know. I'm gonna maybe triple captain this coming weekend because he's a machine, that boy.
never
there's
triple
he
captain
should have
after a hat trick.
yeah, that's true.
ask Egg.
Nah, disagree. Disagree. Disagree on that. Who remembers Aguero? Disagree.
Yeah,
Disagree.
bro,
That's
Didn't he,
not-
didn't he score like
that's-
10 goals in 4 games or something?
yeah,
That's
Something
Yeah,
that's
that
my
was
dog's
like
name.
that.
That was freak.
Yeah.
That's my dog's name. That's my dog's name. He's sitting here,
Aguero.
how's my boy?
We're sitting
Yep.
there.
Remember the Suarez season
Yeah,
I remember that
when he
Suarez
was in
season.
Sturridge. If you didn't triple captain Suarez in between that 5 or 6 game period, your triple card
You
was
wasted-
There was,
you
there was
wasted
no
your
triple captain
card.
back then. There was no
Yeah,
triple
I
captain
think-
back then.
I think confidently, and I'm sorry to go off topic, confidently, with my own eyes and having watched most of what are considered the greatest nines ever to play the football, Suarez, as far as hitting the ball, as far as scoring goals, I don't think any number 9 comes close. And like, I'm being serious. I mean,
Now he bites into
he
it.
got such a gap at number 9 as far as goal scoring.
it's, yeah.
It's guys, just go watch a Suarez goal catalog. You'll
Yeah.
be in tears. It's impossible to score those goals. He makes them look easy.
Ask David
To me,
David
he's the
Luiz at
greatest nine I've ever
PSG.
watched. He's the greatest 9 I've ever
Oh,
watched.
sorry.
Easy.
That was the most unnecessary finish of all time.
David Luiz.
What you're talking about.
Career gone. Career gone.
I think that's the other thing that we need to speak on. Arsenal, I watched them.
Wait.
I think they win.
Wait. Come on, bro. I was about to change. Ish.
Okay.
Hard,
There you go.
boy, hard. I think they were lucky.
They were.
Yeah,
I know this-
Ollie Watkins.
This
Ollie
yeah,
Watkins.
Ole Watkins chowed the team down. And I know there's this rivalry now between Arsenal and Chelsea fans. I don't know where it comes from, but anyway,
What do you
Comes
mean?
from London.
What do you
No,
mean?
like it's weird. It's this they're giving off this energy. You know, this weird energy that they've won Champions League or something. Like I'm fighting with a lot of them. If I had to show my phone, I'm fighting with a lot of Arsenal fans
Just
that I
remind
win
them.
one game.
Just
Just
send them a
remind
picture
them.
of an elephant. They'll know what it means.
I told
No, I
Arsenal fans
asked.
that this
I
day
can't
would
remember
come
who I
Just
when
asked.
they
remind
would be the only big team that doesn't have a Champions League. I told them that this day would happen. I told them.
And
Just
then someone
remind
was
them that
excited, and I asked them, it's like, okay, at what point are we going to stop celebrating? Is it going to be May or is it going to be March? Because they will always do that. But anyway, I honestly, for the life of me, thought Arsenal were very lucky this past weekend. And in me watching the highlights, I can confidently say Villa should have taken their chances. And yeah, a draw minimum. But they took their chances, and yeah, they walk away from home with 3 points. That's what matters.
I
But
think
That's the
the heat's
difference
gonna
between
come.
Haaland and other strikers. Haaland buries those chances, my brother. Buries
Yeah.
those chances. Arsenal are chasing the game.
Yeah, that's true,
I
bro.
think-
That's
Yeah.
true.
Huh?
Yeah. And then
I think Unai is it my network? I think Unai genuinely has affected Mikel in here. He scrambles his network all the time. Mikel really can't deal with Unai Emery at all as far as coaching. His worst games as a coach are always against Unai and Pep, but Unai mainly because they were dominated by Aston Villa. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely dominated, ran by Aston Villa. And then they got the chance with the Trossard substitution. And Trossard wasn't even happy that he was a sub. This goes back to something I said last season. That Trossard genuinely is better than Kai Havertz. I'm not sure why he plays after him or plays as a sub after him. The same issue I had with Luis Diaz playing over Jota when Jota is clearly the simpler, the best and more direct winger out of the two, forward out of the two of them. But that's neither here nor there. But the other thing about Arsenal is they're starting this thing of theirs where the type of football they're playing is not convincing. Declan Rice is not inspirational. It just looks like they're trying to look for magic from their wingers. Either Martinelli needs to do something or Saka needs to do something. There's no design to their play. And if Odegaard is not close to the box to look for those through passes, there's no creativity taking place. If he's too far away from the box, being preoccupied in midfield, then you know that Arsenal is not going to get any outlet, basically, that's going to be looking for passes to a number 9 or any forward. And it's a problem for them this season, and probably the reason they won't win the league. I'm hoping that maybe they can, prove me wrong. Actually, I'm not. But hey, there's
I
nothing
think
wrong.
we've spoken about this, and everyone has raised this concern that Arsenal is 2 players away from a crisis if those players were to be injured.
Yeah.
Odegaard being one, Raya being another. Their keeper, they've got a fucking brilliant keeper.
I think Saka's probably
I think Saka, bro.
yeah.
So it's 3 players.
For me, it's Saliba.
No,
Jess.
but I
Those
get you
guys-
right because
Ooh,
Saliba's
that's
just
a
a
good
no,
one.
so Saliba as well. But I get what you're saying, Sidley, because if any 2 of those 4 are injured, then what's going to happen?
It's a problem. It's a huge problem.
Gents,
See,
there's a
one
saying
of
that
the
says
4 is
defense.
out. You can
There's a
kind of
saying
get through.
that
but-
says defense wins titles. There's a big saying that says defense wins titles. There's a big reason why Thiago Silva had to play for Chelsea as long as he did. When we all could see what he was coming, it was time for him to leave, but there was no one who could replace it. And Arsenal lost Saliba in their form of their life, the prime of their life, when they could see the title, and that was the end of their season.
But
So
they keep
defense,
also
I'm telling you.
this weekend. He had a blind of a game.
There's
like
Mfana,
3.
I'll tell him. Wally Watkins composed himself. He scores those chances. Yeah, we don't shout Raya what.
The header or the tap in?
Both.
Oh,
Both. There's not. He doesn't need to rush. He doesn't need to rush. He doesn't need to rush for that diving header.
The
Why?
diving header. Yeah.
he just needed to compose
He doesn't
himself.
need to do anything. You relax,
Yeah.
dog. Relax.
Yeah.
In Kasi, right? And you say he's telling a man. Just cool yourself down. Relax. That's why R9. That's why R9 was R9.
Guys,
Yeah.
you can't talk about Watkins at R9. Come
No,
on.
but it's
That's what I'm saying.
No,
The composure. What we're trying to say is the difference between a good goal scorer and all of this is composing yourself. That's slowing your heartbeat down. That split second so you can pick your spots. You
Yeah.
just
I
slow it
think
down.
the best
If your heart is
players,
beating,
if-
you wanna smack that thing, man.
Yeah.
I think the best players, they buy time in the middle of in the box.
Yeah.
Where
And
it's
then a
either
chaotic
their first touch,
Hey.
yes, they buy themselves time, and you wonder where. Like Zidane is one player who, for me, would excel in that. You wonder where does he get all this time? Because you think, okay, everyone knows that you need to mark him and whatnot, but his first touch always buys him time. So it's that composure that's missing. But yeah, Arsenal. Everyone is going to celebrate. I'm not convinced. I'm honestly not convinced.
They say
But anyway,
Arsenal,
they don't have to convince me.
the Arsenal collapse
start
is like
slow.
Easter. You don't know when it's coming, but it's sometime in April.
But it's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, let's-
And they've
I
got
think-
Jesus.
I think as a team, they have enough to beat teams, and they are going to beat teams. But I think teams are going to also realize that we have a chance against them. We just need to be efficient because they have a very solid defense. But so you need to be very efficient. The same thing teams started doing to City. Don't try to beat their defense. Use the opportunities you will get, whether it's one or two. Use them
Score.
and then destroy. Make sure that you're not playing games. You hit top bins. You're not trying to give them a chance.
Their
And I
new
think to an
their
extent-
new defender, that Italian guy, he doesn't have pace in him.
Calafiori.
Yeah, he doesn't have pace in
That
him. I
guy's
saw he's
good.
gonna have
That
a problem.
guy's good.
He's a
He's
centre
good.
back. He's not a left back.
That's the
Yeah.
problem.
And they put him
think
in a
they're signing
position-
left back. He's not a left back. He's a left-footed
Yeah.
centre back.
Mhm.
You can play him. You can play him to spread. You see how they are playing Ben White.
Vario.
He's the left-footed Ben White, basically. If
No, it's
you
Vario.
want
It's basically Vario.
Yes. If you
Yeah.
want
Basically
to
trying
invert
to be valid.
Zinchenko, if you want to invert Zinchenko, for example, you can use him as your wide man for the left, but make sure he's closer to Saliba in the center so that you sort of have a screen there. But the problem is that's for Mikel to figure out, and he's a good coach. He'll figure it out. He's not a bad player. That's the thing. He just doesn't have pace, the pace of a fullback, especially for Premier League wingers. Because in the Premier League, they run, they don't play. So you have
They
to make
don't.
sure that you've got that catch-up pace, or at least enough
Yeah.
pace to run angles. If you can't,
I mean,
get to the
you-
man, at least
You're
do
not
something.
playing. You're not playing Leon Bailey, but you're not playing Leon Bailey every weekend. That guy's really cheeky about. So I don't blame that. He'll dust even the fastest fullbacks in the
Hey,
league.
that
So
guy dusts you, bro. Leon Bailey is quick.
he'll dust you.
Yo.
Leon Bailey is very quick, chance. You don't underestimate him. But for me,
Guys,
Calafiori is a really good player. That guy's a really good player. And I know what Arteta is trying to do. He's trying to do the Guardiola. He's going to be the left back because I think they fear maybe Kivior's. I mean, Kivior's probably slower than Calafiori. So having him in that left back position this season probably solidifies it. And then Zinchenko's going to be a corner soon. I don't see him staying on after this season.
Yeah. Same
Yeah,
here.
I think
Yeah.
Timber just needs fitness. Once Timber is back to
Yeah,
okay,
Timber
it's gonna
is
be Timber's
really,
win.
really good. Timber's
Yeah.
really good. I thought he would be
Yeah.
the one that's doing that inverted fullback role because he played a centre back role at Ajax. Sometimes they played him at right back as well. So I think that's what he was signed for. But then of course, when you get it was an ACL, I think it was. It's a long road back. So but I think Timber.
No,
that's a
So,
surprise.
Timber's right-footed, isn't he?
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Yes.
So the person in trouble here is White. He's there. Ben White he had a good season last season, and Timber was actually brought in to be his replacement. in that right back position.
No.
But
I think
Timber
he's left.
Timber was brought in to play left back. Because in that
Yes.
first
With-
game, the game where he did his ACL, he played left back.
Yeah. I remember that game, right? But again, I think you lose that left-footed angle of the left, because I mean, what then you have? You have Gabriel
No,
as
but it's-
the
What Arteta's trying to do is he's trying to play like a not balanced system where his back three will then be Timber more tucking in, and then the width will come from Martinelli. Whereas on the other side, it's White going up and down and Saka coming inside. So he wants to shift
Okay.
like a back three like this way, sort of, where the right back pushes up and the other three tuck in. So it's fine if he's right-footed. It's not going to be like Trippier in the World Cup or in the Euros, where this guy doesn't want to overlap, because his job is not going to be to overlap. It's going to be to tuck in.
Yeah, it will create a problem for Arteta, because he loses a lot of the left side. His left side doesn't have many left-footed people, I guess, because it's now Martinelli and Timber, and who's it? It's going to be Odegaard and Saka, who's only left-footed, I think, and Calafiori
Yeah.
if he's going to be playing in the centre back. So it does create a problem, and I know
Aren't they getting Mikel Merino? Maybe
Yeah,
it's to
he's-
solve
he's
that exact
the-
problem, right? Because
for-
he's
for
also
Partey.
left-footed.
Partey,
maybe.
I think Partey's one in trouble.
Partey
there.
also picks up injuries for days.
Yeah, and Marino's going to be in the pivot spot. So his left-footedness is not really going to be utilized in the way
Yeah,
that Sihle is
as
doing for
in the
him.
width.
He wasn't okay. For Spain, he didn't really play as a pivot. He played more as a box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah, but you have Rice for that. You're not gonna have two of them.
Yeah.
Rice is gonna provide you with that. So Mikel is going to pull back and play the quarterback role, sort of the Jorginho role, so that you free Rice away from the ball responsibility, because retention for Rice, especially in midfield, is a challenge. Even on the weekend, he was he was getting targeted. They would leave him with the ball and make sure that they close the people that he could pass. And then what would he do? He would take it back, and it always stagnated Arsenal's attack. So I think Merino is going to play on that first phase line to sort of get the ball into the last phase, where Rice can now support the attack instead, which is when Arsenal plays best.
If he's gonna continue with these English players, that just wants to run, he'll regret it.
Yebo.
Second place again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
they
move
did.
over to your team.
Could be even lower.
And Onke, we'll spend just a minute on it,
I think
please.
I think for
Please
me,
make
I think for me, the goal that like literally the goal that made me stand up and clap was the last goal. The way that they manipulated the ball from defense, got it in the middle from Neto to Palmer. It was Enzo, Palmer, and what's his name? Neto made the run, and right in the middle, what's his name? João Felix then came in blindly. The ball comes in. He doesn't bother with his first touch and in trapping the ball. None of that. He literally just like passes it. Keeper stood no chance. For me, that was the highlight goal. I get Palmer's goal was brilliant in the way that the ball was coming in high, and he just literally just scooped it, but directionally. But for me, goal number 6, top tier.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
You know what I said? You know what I said after we played you guys? I said you guys aren't going to play City every week. And
That's what you said.
And once, I mean, because City understand what to do, well, we have a system that we play. Teams weren't going to cope with the way Chelsea were playing, because it was very direct football, and you could see that if it was any other team, they would struggle to stop it. And I think lots of teams are going to catch it. Lots of teams are going to catch it.
I'm going to catch it, bro. Especially, you see, with our coach, Sergio, bro. The way we are set up, bro, we are going to catch it against Chelsea. And
Nah,
you know
I
what's
think they're
worse
gonna
is
catch
that
it,
when
man.
they subs, bro, they're gonna make substitutions and the subs are gonna
Yeah.
come on and still slap us
Yeah.
even more, bro.
Everyone is running, Baba. Everyone is running up front. Everyone is moving.
You guys
Everyone.
attack,
So
man.
I still just feel they need that perfect striker to top it all off, though.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah,
With
look,
you, with
Alan
you there.
plays for City, dog.
ish.
you guys you guys
a
are
perfect human
missing
being, not
you
a
guys are
robot.
missing a striker, and I
So-
agree with Shashul because I'm looking at the stats, and I heard this rumor, but I just confirmed it now. I did a Google search. Wolves actually had a higher XG than Chelsea. That tells you that it tells you two things: either your striker is Sergio Aguero, or you got a bit lucky.
Nah,
Right.
I mean,
I
okay,
don't think
let's
it's just
let's look
lucky.
at the goals. Let's look at the goals, man.
Yeah.
So we scored from a set piece, free header
Yeah.
for Nicholas Jackson. I would expect an XG of 1 for a free header in the back post.
Not even a
Um,
penalty is XG of 1, eh?
You see, that's the problem with XG.
Hey,
So
people miss penalties, can't be
yeah,
1.
and people miss free headers, and tap in.
So it can't be 1.
The expectation should
Like
be that's a goal.
0.3.
So no, what I'm going to is when you look at each and every one of our goals, we were in the 16-yard box for each and every one of them, apart from the Palmer goal. Oh, apart from Palmer and Felix. So 4
Madueke.
of our goals were in the 16-yard box because Madueke was basically free in the 16-yard box for his entire hat trick.
Wait, no,
This
the
is-
one that took a deflection
is
that
where-
wasn't in the 16-yard box.
That was
XG
I knew
XG
it
doesn't
Was
XG doesn't. Hey, XG doesn't win matches, Baba. You can have
Look,
XG
let's
of
see.
1
Let's
million.
see.
was
Let's see
betting-
how it
was
goes,
betting.
right? The
Right.
rest of the season will tell us. The rest of the season will tell us if you guys can keep this up.
And also
I still think
winning.
they need striker, man. I still
If
think
you're
they
scoring
need-
goals from everywhere on the pitch, you don't need a striker. City have won 2 league titles without a striker. It's a myth
Yeah.
that you need
I
a
was
striker.
going there.
You just
I
need to
was
you just
going
need to
there.
be able. You just need to be able to score goals. Let's all go score goals,
Share-
guys. Come right back.
Yeah.
Come right
Shares
back.
share the goal
Next
load.
week, centre back. Let's all share the
We
goals.
also
At the end of the season,
we also won ours without a striker. So
Exactly.
You're not talking
And
about
that's-
Liverpool,
I-
it's a
man.
myth.
Liverpool is
No, no,
next.
You
but-
always
true. I
slide
fully
Liverpool
agree.
in there.
Yeah, but I fully agree with
but
what you
that's-
just said. Yeah.
That's where
Yeah,
I was
like, I
going
fully
to
agree.
say.
Yeah.
We and I said this when we were doing the goal thing the other week to say which team is going to score the most goals, and I said it's teams that can score goals that can share goals in the squad. There's no
Mm.
responsibility that lies with one person to score the goals, and the teams that can spread the goals best in the team is likely going to score the most goals. And I like the fact that we scored goals in different ways. We scored from a set piece. We don't do that too much. Thiago Silva best and he's gone. We scored a goal from a quick counter that is from the keeper. All one goal. We don't. That's different for Chelsea. We scored from a press and Enzo, I think, pressed one of the Wolves defenders.
Yeah.
And then quickly the ball to
Jackson to
got
Palmer
to
to Madueke.
Oh, Jackson
Yeah.
to Palmer goal. And then we scored from a back front count where you draw the press when the press stand into midfield and then you start counter from there. Or 2 goals like love those. From midfield recovery from Enzo.
The connection, okay.
Your connection.
And then
okay.
you and Enzo. That was amazing.
Yeah.
this guy's been waiting 1 hour to talk about his team. He finally
Yeah.
gets a chance.
And his network is like,
Yeah.
Okay,
nah.
okay, next week we'll talk about Chelsea first. It's fine.
Yeah. All right.
Nah,
all
but
right. Yeah.
if we're being honest with Chelsea, I think anyone who watched the game and just not the scoreline, the first half was an all over show. We need to address the elephant in the room. There's a lot of elephants in the room today. Caicedo was shit the first half. He was bap. He gave away the ball for their
Yo!
goal. Yeah, he was shit. And I think he needs to come right. And I hope
The whole
Romeo.
half.
Yeah, I hope Romeo is it's not a long term injury. I hope it's something he can
Oh, is he
literally.
injured, Romeo? Again?
Yeah, he's injured. Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Yaka hapa na. Is rough now. You can just see everything. Is rough.
Nah, but I
For-
think if we have him, I don't mind sacrificing either between Caicedo or Enzo. If we've got Lavia. I
See, that's
honestly
nice.
against the champions he had a very very positive game.
It must be
And
nice
I
having
think
Deb now, bro. Hey, you just spoke up. You just flexed your muscles there, bro. Like literally, like
There's
where's
depth
Nah, but
and then there's
it's
there's depth and then there's what these
scouting.
guys have.
Yeah, it's scouting. It's you went and you took 65
Ah.
million and you bought what's his
Hi
name?
man, yeah, boy, nah, talk about your team. We're not talking
Oh,
about.
and
We're
he's
not
gone.
talking about.
And
Guys.
he's gone.
Yeah.
Nah, but I hear you. But I think
I got him
it's,
before he left.
Eh, you sent it to the group. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't want to get too excited. There's still like
Yeah.
a couple of question marks. But yeah, back to what Onke was saying, that the goals were not the goals all over the pitch. And I'm loving what Palmer and Madueke are doing on the one side. I'm very interested in the play Neto and João Felix, because they seem to get along. Yeah, so I think once.
Portuguese.
Yeah.
No, and thing is, once they spice it up on either side, then we sort it.
Yeah. All right. Can we move over to slot? You know.
I
Oh,
raised
well,
this. I was the first
trend
person who
thing,
raised
guys.
this. And hold on, I raised this, and people said I was reaching. Okay, no
Mm.
player is bigger than the team. I get that the manager is new, okay, but what's his name? Trent does not have the right to behave like a petulant little 3-year-old who's just being substituted. The manager substituted, and I felt Slot shouldn't have done what he went and did, in that he entertained that whole fucking tantrum, and he went to him and he spoke to him. He would never do that with Klopp, be it beginning of Klopp's career or at the end of Klopp's career. So that whole act, I did not appreciate. And also, there's a shot of him in the end when he's walking, when the match was done and they're all
Jota.
celebrating. He still
saw
has that
that
frown
shot.
on his face
No,
and whatnot. And I was like,
I
no,
saw that
man.
shot. I saw that shot, and I honestly think you're reaching. I saw some shots after that where he actually was, smiling and happy for the team. I think simply he was disappointed that he was being taken off. I don't think it's anything more than that. I think
Okay.
he is a little bit frustrated because of his contract situation, but I'm not concerned at this point.
Yeah. So you saw this comment, right, Shiva?
I saw this comment. Look, Jude is probably in his ear, but I don't. It won't happen now, and I'm sure we'll get the contract situation sorted by the end of the
Mm.
season.
How many years has he got left?
Christmas. This is his last year.
Oh,
Damn.
fuck,
And how much does he want, bro? I'm sure he wants a lot.
So
English players.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
Thing. You don't hear that coming out of Liverpool.
Mm.
You really
Yeah.
don't. The only time you really heard it was when Salah was pushing for his contract, and he was also just pushing for better terms. He wasn't really pushing for more money. He just wanted a longer contract, and that came through Salah's side and through his agent. So it doesn't really come out. We won't know until it's done, basically, or almost done.
Mm.
But I do think you also have cover for him with that new kid.
That Bradley kid is good. That kid is
Yeah.
good. That kid is really good. He reminds me. He's basically just Andy Robertson, exactly like Andy Robertson. Energy for days, and he's got some good technique on him as well. But on the
Yeah.
point of the game, it looked very routine. Like
Yeah,
I never
was
felt
actually
stressed
boring.
by it.
Yeah, it was
It
boring.
was, but it was. We made it boring because we kind of just suffocated the life out of them. We didn't absolutely go and smash them, but when they had some chances, but when we went 1-0 up, it was just a matter of getting the second and seeing the game off. And that's exactly what happened. After 75 minutes, the game was done. That's why Slot was able to take off people like Trent and Salah as well. I never really felt threatened. And I just want to drop a shout out as well to Alexis McAllister.
Yeah.
That's a midfielder. That's a
I
proper midfielder.
love McAllister. Now he can
That's
do
a
no
proper
wrong in the
midfielder.
world.
Almost half the price of Mason Mount.
Yo,
Wow.
bruh, why did you have to bring that up, bruh? Like,
Sorry. You also have to feel it.
He's on less wages too, I assume.
Yeah. Mount is
Yeah.
on
But
200
I
something a week.
think what you went and said there, Shiva, that you suffocated the life out of them and whatnot. It was boring. It was very boring.
That's fine.
I
That's
tried.
fine. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. It was
We
routine.
are 4-time champions, but just being routine, playing our football, going about
Yeah.
our business, and we're
We did our
champions.
thing. We implemented our plan. We won the game.
So
Also, take away that guy Yanalt. Take away him tracking Salah like an absolute. I don't know what's the word I can look for, like stink on a warthog.
Bad rash.
And then we
Yeah.
have goal of the season right there.
Yeah,
He just Yo, man.
But I
Damn,
think the season, we always say beginning of the season, this season is shaping up to be like a brilliant season. I think two game weekends in, we can see clubs that are going to have a tough season ahead, and we can see managers that are not going to make December. I don't think Ten Hag is going to make Christmas. I'm putting my last dollar. I don't see him passing Christmas.
Did I not say he'd be one of the first managers sacked when we did our preview?
You did. Yeah, you did. Siobhan. You should put money
I
on
say the
Hollywood
international break is going to do him a huge favor in that.
Whoa. Let me.
What if
just
Slot
hold on.
slaps us?
That international break comes after a home game against Liverpool.
Exactly.
So you suddenly if you lose that game, you 3 from 3 and you've lost to Liverpool. Right? That's pressure.
Yeah.
If they win that game,
But
they
you see,
win that game.
there will be one good thing to come out of it, because when you guys inevitably thrash us, panic buy that we're going to make after that game is going to be iconic. I won't be surprised if we go out and just bid 100 or something for like Lautaro or something, because that's what happened.
The window would have
when we
been closed.
bought Casemiro.
Would have been
After
closed.
those Brentford hiding.
Yeah, the window would have been closed.
No.
playing
The
on
window
Sunday.
closes on the second.
The window closes on the Monday. Correct. It never closes on a weekend.
Yeah. So
Well,
never
I
closes
wouldn't
on
be
a weekend.
surprised.
I don't know
if
why I'm
we-
thinking
we
it's
catch
closing the
hiding
Friday.
and then just go and panic buy someone.
But we shouldn't panic buy, bro. We should.
Look, I think we need Igate and we need to get Rabiot in on a free, and then if Sancho
I hear
leaves,
Osimhen isn't going to Chelsea anymore, so
Osimhen might go to Saudi, and Napoli only won 57 million pounds for him.
Nah, but he's on heavy wages. He wants proper
Yeah,
wages.
I don't
think he's on
Osimhen
300.
is all that, to be honest.
Is he?
Yeah,
The guy-
Chelsea saying no. They're gonna break their wage structure.
Yeah,
so
but
it's a no.
these guys that's actually less than Sancho.
Yeah, Sancho's
Well,
on.
This is Man United we're talking about. Man United just gives out wages for
Yo,
crazy for
Hey,
yeah.
bro, we always score own goals, bro, all the time, and that's why we struggle selling our players, bro.
Mhm.
Guys like even who's this guy Maguire? He's like, bro, I'm not gonna get 190 anywhere else. Same thing with Luke Shaw. Even with Arsenal,
It's the
and
it's the oldest saying that I think we've been preaching for the past 6 seasons. There's no player at Man United who's come on and has improved their game. And I don't know what causes that. Like no one can explain what causes that.
It's that
I
hyena
saw
that Pogba put under Old Trafford.
But
I
it was
saw
even before Pogba. I would
Yeah,
argue
that's
maybe Zlatan didn't get better up until he
No,
broke his knee.
Zlatan,
He improved,
Bruno,
but nah, Bruno's gotten
yeah.
worse. Bruno's gotten
Yeah.
worse. These last 2 seasons,
he's the
Bruno's
best.
gotten
He's the
worse.
best of the worst.
He's
Yeah.
been to,
Yeah.
all our players. Let's
Dallo.
be honest.
I think Dallo is the only one.
I did mention Dallo
Okay,
is
yeah.
one player that
But
I
he
wouldn't
went
mind
out
in my
on loan
fantasy
to Milan, right? What was it,
Yeah.
Milan? He went out to
Yeah,
on loan
Milan.
somewhere
And
in
when we
Italy.
played Milan in the Europa League, we said that loser keeps Dallo. That's how bad he was. And then he's come back and
Well, now that he's come back, I wonder who lost that game.
No, we
Yeah.
won. We won that game.
Look, your cousin.
Nah, he's a
Cousin
Liverpool
is right.
fan. He's a Liverpool
Yeah, he's
fan.
right.
Nah, Liverpool
he's
fan or not.
Anita's
I think
right.
Bruno, guys, if we're being honest, that new
Yeah.
contract that he got, he shouldn't have really gotten that contract. Because after
he
It
that,
wasn't a new
it's-
contract, it was just an extension.
Yeah,
They
that's a
just
pay
gave him
rise.
a 1-year extension. It wasn't a pay rise.
Well, it was a pay rise. Isn't
was
he
a
on
pay rise.
300? Yeah, he's now on 300. Can you imagine Bruno on 300? How do you feel about that, cheese?
well, what's Rashford
You
on?
put-
No,
Ah,
I'm just shocked. I'm just shocked that Trishu would think someone would sign their life away, not ask for more money. But
You guys know how
I'm
I
like,
am
oh
with
my God,
Bruno.
Like, no,
God.
not enough money.
Take
Don't
Bruno
give
out of
me.
United and United just
Uh,
failed.
is it-
Already more than we already are failing.
yeah.
Look,
Alright.
the problem is just these guys want to have like a comparison. They're probably like, yeah, look, Kevin De Bruyne is earning this much, and he's like, oh, the main person player for the team, so I need to have something similar to him. And they're like, yeah, but then you have to sign more years to your life, and like, oh, it's fine, and then they sign. But
End
Yeah,
of the
but
day,
you
it's
see,
not-
there's a problem. You can't say, okay, to earn what Kevin is earning, you need to sign more years. You need to say
He needs
to
do
earn what
Kevin
Kevin is
doing.
earning, you need to
you need to do what
you
he's
know
doing.
you need to come with some trophies
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Look, to be fair, look, Bruno, it doesn't match him, but he does his fair share in that.
He's
Team
the guy's
setup.
surrounded by
Yeah.
idiots. Jeez, he's
Yeah.
surrounded by idiots. When you have players like Rashford, when you have players like Mount, look, Casemiro, of course, definitely one of the greatest, but then he has fallen
Time.
off, and a 19-year-old
time.
kid that's being forced to do the donkey work in midfield. Our fullbacks don't attack. Our right fullback is playing at left back. Harry Maguire and Andre Onana, need I say more? You can't, and also there's no striker. There's no striker.
You know what?
You've got a striker. You've got two strikers on the bench.
Yeah.
You know
I don't
what I
like
wanted to-
Fabrizio as a source, guys. I don't.
Yeah.
Not for Liverpool. I saw it and I saw Fabrizio's tweet, but until I hear it from Ornstein or Joyce,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
I'm an Ornstein merchant.
Look,
They only
gents,
want
I-
like 50 million euros for him.
I want to say something blasphemous. Well, not blasphemous, but I'm willing, considering that I've seen what Gundogan did. I'm willing for Bernardo now to go to Barcelona, and I'm willing to take Bruno Fernandes in that pocket at City to play
You're gonna
with
kill
Kevin.
them.
See,
Hey,
Cheese
Baba.
knows ball. Cheese knows. Bruno Fernandes.
Hey,
that's-
Cheese.
To have
would
two-
actually be
to have those
hours
two
of
there.
reserve.
Imagine Haaland,
No,
like 199 goals a season from those two, bro. Just
I like Bruno, but he's not being used correctly. He should not be
Not oh,
the player that the game plays through,
yeah.
right? He's the player that needs to get on the end of things. He's
Thank
the guy
you.
that plays the
Like
final pass. He's
like
not the
KDB.
guy
Yeah.
who dictates
Yeah.
the
he's
play.
Kevin.
But
That's
you know
why
what's
I
the
play
problem
both
about?
of
But
them
you
as the
see,
same.
we know
most
that our
United
managers
players-
and coaching staff doesn't know that.
But let's be honest. Most United players aren't used correctly. It's like
But-
Ten Hag sets us up in such a way that it shows the players' deficiencies instead of their
Yep.
strengths. Whereas when you look at Liverpool and Trent doesn't get exposed. You never find Trent having to defend one-on-one.
They plan.
Because of how
They
they
plan for it.
set up.
Yeah, they train. We train. They train. And,
Yeah.
I want to say there was a time when Casemiro just came to United, right? And he was doing so well and winning the ball, and they had a great relationship with Bruno because Bruno would be there for the ball as soon as he wins it, and he's releasing something crazy. And and it was working until they realized actually, Casemiro doesn't have the legs, so let's force him to do a lot of
Let's just
running.
press him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and take care of the game. I think we do have a case in bringing someone young and Ugarte, changing that, bringing a bit more legs, bringing a bit more ball control. Is also South American, so he'll have that flair in that position. But once you've solved that, right, you still need to go solve a lot of things. I mean, we cannot have Harry
We need
Maguire.
a striker.
We can't be giving Evans contract
So
extensions.
I said before we even get a striker, we need to sort out our ball retention, bro. Have you
Yeah.
noticed how many goals we concede later on in the game, bro? This is the sixth time.
I saw a stat. I saw that
And
stat that
Yeah.
United since Ten Hag took over have lost 6 matches from conceding in the 90th minute. Before then,
Yeah.
it had only happened twice.
Twice.
In
And that's
20
because
years.
and that's because you see, when you look at the best teams in the league, it's City and of course, quote unquote, Arsenal. They're very good on holding on to possession. When you hold on to possession, your opponent can't score against you, bruh. I always say that. Like, just be decent. You don't have to be on City's level, but just be competent, bro. Like Liverpool for one. Liverpool
Manage
are
the
competent
game.
on the ball. Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
don't
we
have
don't
the
have
type
no
of
game
technical
management.
players. Yeah,
None.
where's us, bro? As soon as Scott comes in, Scott is not comfortable on the ball. Rashford's not comfortable on the ball. Bruno as well, he's also not comfortable on the ball. Then you've got, like, literally, it's only Kobe Mino and Ahmad, the only 2 guys who can actually hold on to the ball comfortably. Whereas the other 4
There's an
attackers
aura.
can't. Yeah.
There's an aura there. You see that aura between, in teams, there's triangles. We call it triangles, right?
Yeah.
Your 2 center backs and you're holding mid. Those guys need to be tight, bro. You need to be so comfortable. Rodri needs to be so comfortable. When he gets the ball and there's no pass, he can pass it to Akanji, and Akanji will stop and retain the ball in his presses instant, and he recycles the ball until Rodri's in a better position to receive it and move it forward. If you guys say Ugarte and he turns around and he looks at Maguire, no one wants to pass Maguire. Everyone gets the ball in your center mid gets the ball, and sometimes it's not even. People think that it's negative. It's negative passing. It's not. You're rotating the ball so you can receive a ball in a better position. Sometimes the guy is pressing here. You pass it back to him. You move into that space so you can receive it going forward. And sometimes it's a holding mid. That's all you need to do. I'm bouncing the ball off of you to get in a better position. And if you're holding mid and you can't do that with your center backs, you are going to be screwed. You're going to be screwed.
Then you have to play a double pivot. Then you have to play a double pivot, and then you're taking
in this day and age,
from
Shiva, we can't. We can't, Shiva.
Well,
In this day and age,
you can, but you just won't win a league title with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as well, just to jump in, Shiva, that's what Ten Hag did in the first season. That's the reason why in the first season we weren't conceding so many goals. He chose to play a mid-block instead of playing this high press now, bro. That's showing deficiencies, Cass's deficiencies, bro. And I
still think X. I said this after the Fulham game. It felt like the strikers went, then the midfielders didn't go as high, and then the defenders didn't go as hard. So it was like, the teams were not sort of in line. They were not testing together. I still feel that.
It's still the same, Shiva.
Look,
guys just don't
that's why
get
I'm
it.
keen on Ugarte coming in, so that we have someone who's actually a ball tracker and a ball winner.
Yeah, but can he play on the
can
half
play
turn as
next
well?
to Kobe and can run? Casemiro can't do that. You're limiting
Can he
Kobe's
pivot?
by doing that.
Yeah,
I think
but
Ugarte
another
can
thing
pivot.
But another thing is can he play on the half turn? Did you see what Billy Gilmore was doing to us, bro? Billy can receive the ball from deep, bro, and bring it up comfortably without panicking.
Why? And that's what I'm saying is why don't
dog?
I would say the natural evolution for Kobe Mainu is a pivot. Imagine how good that kid would be as a pivot. He has the confidence. He has the legs to carry the ball. He's gonna grow into a very big boy as he grows, as he gets older.
He's at the wrong club.
That guy is McAllister. How small is McAllister, Chelsea? He goes and he
Exactly.
receives that ball in the middle of three people
Exactly.
and he flicks the ball between corners. And you don't need to have some big guy who's going to be playing. You just need to have someone who's comfortable, can read the game really well.
IQ
You can
is
see
very
there's a
important
striker
in that
running
role.
behind. You go in, you close for the interceptions. You don't need to be the hard tackling, holding mid these days. Read the game.
Yo,
You control the
yeah,
game. You move your teammates. You control people. The guys who are in
You're
front of
asking
you are
too much.
mature. Say, Bruno,
Controlling the
drop in.
game. Man United.
yeah, Yeah.
You don't get the name pivot for free, my brother.
yeah.
You don't be called a pivot and you say it's too much of a job. If it was too much of a job for Rodri,
It's
he
like
would be
Liverpool
gone to
Lavia.
Ipswich like some other guy. There's other guy who went to Ipswich from England. It's too much of a job for him. That's what happens to you.
You don't like that guy. And it's the same thing with
Uh,
Lavia as well. Besides him being aggressive in tackles, he's also very competent in bringing up the ball, bro, getting it out. Like, that's what's lacking in our team, bro. It's just the retention part. Guys just
Ivan,
panic.
there's a player,
bro. It
there's a
becomes chaotic, bro.
there's a midfielder that I forgot his name now. Villa. I watched him this
Oh,
past
Rodgers.
weekend. Dude,
Rodgers.
is it Rogers?
Rodgers
No,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Morgan,
Raj
more
Rodgers.
Rodgers.
No,
Oh,
Rodgers
Yuri.
is not really like the attacking midfielder sort of.
Yuri
The number
Tillemans.
27, dog. Number 27, buff.
I'll tell you now.
And for his size, he's so fluid.
Are you talking
bro.
about
Like,
Onana?
Yeah. He's
No,
good.
man. Not Onana. Come on.
It has,
They
if
played
he's
this
talking about
past
pivots,
weekend.
it's Tillemans, right? It's Tillemans if he's playing in the
Tillman,
six.
it's Rodgers.
He doesn't have the legs though. Tillman doesn't have the legs.
Yeah.
He tied
Mm.
near the.
But he doesn't need it. That's
Burns out.
you don't.
He's so good on the
Everyone
ball.
thinks this.
Yeah,
Everybody
so
thinks
good,
a central midfielder needs to be a box-to-box midfielder. You really don't.
You know,
Xavi didn't have legs.
Iniesta didn't have legs.
Nah, okay,
You
let me
read
stop
the
you right
game.
there. Let me stop you there.
Busquets-
Iniesta had legs. He wasn't
Busquets-
fast. But this man clocked.
Yo,
This
Busquets was
man clocked 10 Ks a game.
Jens,
Yo, Busquets
if you're a
was
pivot,
so-
you read the game, Jens. Rodri is because he's tall and he gets there faster and he has those longer legs. But you read the game to get into those positions. If Rodri doesn't get into that position confidently enough, we don't have a Champions League.
Dude,
I can't even think of a CDM who can play that role that Rodri plays. Obviously not as well.
yeah,
But I'm
there's a
saying,
lot,
like,
bro.
At
Martin
a
Zubimendi.
decent enough
There's a
level
lot.
that you know
No,
that we
there-
could
there
sign,
isn't.
that we could
There
sign
isn't.
right now.
And I'm not saying, and I'm
No,
not
there,
saying,
there's no one. There's no one.
Yeah, no,
Like-
of course not at Rodri's level, but Shiva from what again? What is this called?
Coaching
man,
perspective.
English
Okay.
is evading me now.
Yeah, you're right. It is Rogers. I was very, very impressed with him.
Rodgers, bro.
Mm.
Yeah,
Rodgers,
number
I was
27 is really
properly
good. Bro.
impressed.
they got him for 9 million, by the way. 9 million pounds.
Where
That's
did
how much
yeah? Where did they get him from?
Middlesbrough. He was coached by Carrick, dog. Yeah. Rodgers
How?
is
Carrick never
nice.
tipped you guys, which there's a player.
Carrick is
He
beefy.
probably
No,
did.
Probably.
Just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
how, just like how
yeah.
Oli was telling you guys about Holland and they
Yeah.
didn't listen.
Oh
Yeah,
my
he
god.
probably
Ole
did.
was trying to sell Haaland to United from before he was our manager and he
Yeah.
kept telling him no.
So yeah, we need a Carrick type player, Threshold. Yeah,
Yes.
Carrick.
Yes. Yep.
That's the guy we need. And actually, preferably, if I would sign a player, I would first do aptitude tests and check if they can play in tight spaces. That's
Yeah.
my minimum requirement. If you come to like City, bro, everyone at City is competent on the ball. It can even Rico Lewis in tight spaces. The kid is calm. He's
I
composed.
can't even think of a CDM available that could do that.
Sanderberg.
Well, no.
No,
It's-
no, no, no,
I
no,
know,
no.
So I did this exercise. I did this
But that's
exercise.
how it
I
works,
scrolled
bro.
through I scrolled through some database and I looked at all of the CDMs and I'm like, who actually can do this that is available? And the
Right.
only answer I came up with was actually Billy Gilmore. I can't find
Yeah,
anybody
Billy
else.
Boy
Gilmore,
had a
I
cracker.
always rated
Billy
Gilmore.
Boy
And
had
I
a
don't know
cracker
why
game.
Chelsea let him go to sign Casado
Yeah.
for $100 and
So there's that short stocky boy who plays for Brighton as well, who's very young, Paliba.
Baleba,
That
yeah.
boy is going to be
Yeah.
that boy is
Yeah.
going to be a monster in future. He's really
And
good
I
in
feel
that space.
And
But is
Brighton
he
keep
available?
getting- And I'm sure it's going to be expensive. But Brighton always get these unknown guys in that position. I think they
Because
specialize
it's done
in
well.
players. You know, another one is
The thing
Vitinha.
is, the next CDM who can play in tight
Another one is
spaces,
Vitinha,
by the
guys.
time he's
Vitinha is
discovered,
also
he'll be
very
off to City.
composed on the ball. Very, very
Yeah.
composed. Can dribble and everything. Hey, but anyway, guys, yo,
Th-
it's 9
These
o'clock.
guys, these guys let go of Joao Neves, bro.
Listen
And
to that.
that's my boy. That's my boy, that one.
2 assists this weekend, Joao Neves.
For
But
me, that's
anyway.
one player I wanted at City. Anyway.
Yeah, he's a baller. He's a baller. He's a baller. Guys, there's quite a few of you guys here. Please like before you leave us a believe. This really helps the channel, guys. You know, I'm trying my utmost best to get the numbers rolling. But guys, thank you so much for availing yourselves. So that means we're doing the tier maker next week, right?
Yeah, you've
Where
got
we
No,
really
no,
Yeah,
no, no, no.
international.
Next week,
International
we
friendly.
need to talk about the
Liverpool.
massacre at Old Trafford. Then
All
after
right.
that, it's international break. It's nice and boring.
All right.
We can do cams there.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do cams then. Yeah. So guys, thank you so much.
Your confidence there, Shivar, is top
I
notch.
don't remember the last time I was scared to go to Old Trafford.
He's never
It
played.
was probably when we had Hodgson as our manager. That was probably
Just
the
don't
last
go
time
there.
I was scared.
Just
of
don't go
Old
there
Trafford.
drunk. Just don't play against them drunk. We played against them drunk and we
Yeah.
an FA Cup final and now look
They keep on reminding you.
I don't remind Cheese. Cheese remind him of what, dog? Like, come on. And you know, I don't like. I'm a very self-aware individual. So, guys, please like, I see you guys are still here. Please like. I'll give you 10 seconds. 10,
Big.
8, 7,
Let's go to Jets.
5,
all the 4-time champions must hoist some likes.
2.
I think we're not gonna get any cheese. Get negative.
Yeah. All right,
It's
guys.
115 points from there.
Go to the mall today, my brother. All you see is City shirts and 3 Man United tops.
Those plastic ones.
All right, Jets. Thank you so much for availing yourselves. This is Pleasy Sport, and we out.
Peace, cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.